Okay, part 3 of Land of the Lost, where we're going to wrap up this series. And we're going to be looking at the second wave of figures, which are the talking figures that all feature backpacks that have a few sayings programmed into them. I have Annie, Kevin, Krista, and Talking Stink, but it turns out there is a Talking Shung, and I wasn't able to find him, so we are minus one of the main figures, but to make up for that we'll also look at the Crystal Power Sword with flashing lights and sound. So here is Talking Krista, her voice pack, and there's a harness that the pack attaches to. The figures themselves are exactly the same as the Wave 1, except they've been repainted slightly and they don't have their action feature. So here's the Krista figure. She doesn't stand very well because she's developed scurvy in this one leg here from probably years of vitamin deficiency. But she's already bad, so it doesn't really matter that she can't stand. I imagine that would be a pretty easy fix with some boiling water or a hairdryer to rebend that leg, but I don't think I'm going to be displaying these. They come with a harness to hold the voice packs, which are styled to look like kind of a giant leaf, I guess, or something, or ragged cloth held together with rope. There's a large button on the top that activates the voice sounds. And because there's just this one slot, you have to open this up, which attaches at multiple points, and then slide the suspender strap parts underneath the harness. So I imagine this is going to be just not any fun to put on the figure. And yeah, it's kind of overly complicated and difficult, and it doesn't really seal itself, and the backpack sits at kind of an odd angle. Amazingly, after over 2 decades, the batteries still work. So let's hear what Krista has to say. There you go. That's her. That's all she has to say is 3 phrases. There's 3 button cell batteries in there, so it's like 1 phrase per button. These things are quite weighty too, so there's, absolutely no way she's going to stand with her jank leg. Next is Talking Stink, who makes Paku Boy sounds, Give Me High Five, Stink Hungry, and Akubane. Talking Stink has less articulation than Running Stink, but that's just fine. So he stands alright, and he doesn't have the shark fin sticking out of his back. Really, I think he's a better figure than the running one, since that running action is so bad and prevents him from being able to stand. But he's got the exact same harness backpack setup. I just don't think I'm even going to try to put it on him. So let's hear what Stink has to say. That was Give Me High Five, I think. Stink Hungry, Akubane, and just monkey sounds. So yeah, he sounds almost exactly like he does on the show. It's just a digitized, highly compressed version of it. Talking Kevin Porter says, run it Scarface and get the crystals. That's it. That's all he's got to say. So Kevin is just a recolor of the same figure. Doesn't have his karate kick though, unfortunately. There he is in his yellow shirt. He's kind of got a Dwight Schrute thing going on now. His harness is slightly different. It has a slightly different buckle styling than Krista's and Stink's. And their voice backpack has a more backpack looking style, even though it's massive compared to them. So let's hear his voice. Yeah, that's all Kevin has to say. 2 phrases. Even Stink had 4. Kevin's backpack was surprisingly easy to get on. Here's what he looks like. Of course, it's extremely weighted to the back. To be able to stand, he has to lug it around at like a 45-degree angle. But get the crystals. And the last of the talking figures I have is Annie Porter, who is also very concerned with getting the crystals. Let's go, Tasha, and look out, Slee Stacks. So Talking Annie, like Stink, I think is better than her Wave 1 counterpart because she doesn't have the jacked up arms. They actually get a little printing detail here on her that makes her a little less dull than Kevin. So as a just kind of Kenner style 5 points of articulation figure, I think it's better than the one that has the crappy bow draw action. Now, one thing that just kind of occurred to me is all of the backpacks for the porters are blue, and both of Krista's and Stink's are yellow, so there's no way to tell them apart unless you make them talk. Unfortunately, Annie's batteries have not survived the years. There's 4 screws in this backpack, and they are extremely deep set. So I'm gonna look to see if I have a screwdriver that can even reach those and try to replace the batteries. Hey, what do you know? So this old screwdriver I had was just long enough to get in there. So let's see what it's like in here. Alright, there we go. There's the inside with the 3 button cells. Well, I tried my best, but it turns out that time has silenced Annie Porter. She just has her enormous backpack now and nothing to say about it. Well, here are the talking Land of the Lost figures. That wraps it up for the second wave. They're bad, but if you really wanted the figures, like just to have, I would actually say get the talking ones, because they don't have, unless you're really into the gimmicks, you know. But if you want to just display them because they look like the show that you used to like, you know, I would actually go for these. Let's take a look at the crystal sword. Oh yeah, it's the Sleestack power weapon, the crystal sword, that at one point was $4.98. Pretty rad art of Shung here menacing people with his glowing sword. Another picture of him up at the top. That's actually different artwork, which is pretty commendable. Oh wait, it was $1.90 at one point. Ouch. So the product shot on the back makes it look pretty decent. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually looks like that. It seems like pretty simple paint and some glitter infused clear plastic. It's supposed to light up and make sound. It's got 104 light and sound patterns. Nice. So this is fancy, high-tech stuff. Oh yeah. So it's much shorter than I expected, but it looks almost exactly like the one on the back of the box. Now this, the crystal part is actually very soft, hollow plastic, so it weighs almost nothing. Just pretty impressive. It looks, you know, it looks like as advertised, you know. Unlike the talking figures, it does not come with batteries, so I'll load that up in just a second. It also came with an up to $5 cash back by mail on Energizer, batteries, and another product catalog that's the exact same. It's the one we looked at last time. It has its 2 AA's inserted, so let's see what we got. Oh, some flashing. And some high-pitched screeching. Higher-pitched screeching. Ooh, no. Wow, yeah, those are all horrible. At least there's one where you can just have the lights flash. Let's see how that looks with the lights out. Whoa, it'll give you a seizure. There you have it. Shung's power sword. You can menace the porters with a glowing crystal dagger. Actually, as short as this is, it's pretty much how it looks on the show. It's very short. It's more of a dagger, but you know, crystal sword sounds cooler. Does it though, than crystal dagger? I don't know. Your call. But there it is. It's a pretty decent little sword toy. It's probably the best part of this line, I'd say. Even though it would not withstand much abuse at all. It's got a pretty hefty seam in it, and this is that kind of plastic that likes to split. It's like one of those really cheap wiffle bats, you know. Well, thanks for watching and enduring the horrible digitized sounds and squeals in this video. There'll be more videos coming. I'll see you then.